How does a director of admissions for a community college balance all that the job entails? Tiff Phillips sat down with Sheila Vaughn of Cape Cod Community College on our Open Here podcast.
I'm with Sheila Vaughn from Cape Cod Community College. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. I see you all the time at the pop-ups and I'm super excited to be here and chat with you today.
I know, because it's usually like 5 seconds we get to talk about the pop-ups and then we're on to other things, but I'm so excited to kind of sit down and actually talk to you about what you do and about you personally. So let's talk about it. Can you give me a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. So I have been in higher ed for over 20 years. I don't feel like I'm that old, but I have been. And I started out going to college at UMass Dartmouth and fell in love with psychology. But then I worked with brain injured teenage girls. I worked at a home care center. And then I got asked to be a staff assistant at Tufts University and an international office and fell in love with higher ed. And I've been doing it since I was 23.
So you have a passion for it?
I really have a passion for higher education. You know, I've worked at private schools, public schools. I've worked at a for-profits, but I found my home in the nonprofit community college atmosphere. It's really where I find my best fit in helping people and really seeing a difference that I'm making when I'm going there every day.
That you are. I feel like everyone knows a little bit about Cape Cod Community College, but can you tell us a little bit more for those who don't know?
Absolutely. So we are one of the 15 community colleges in Massachusetts. So everybody has this we call it a service territory. So we are right smack in the middle of Cape Cod. So we are right in West Barnstable, and we have a physical campus, but we also are online and we're high flex. It's awesome. So we're kind of everywhere now, which is great. Ever since the pandemic, we've really ebbed and flowed. But we are an amazing opportunity to get 40 degree programs and 40 certificate programs. So whether you want to go into the workforce or you want to go into a four-year institution, you can do that as well. Not to mention that it's very affordable for students. But I like to say English comp is English comp, no matter where you take it. And, it's really great to see students being able to succeed and get out into the workforce. And we also do a lot of dual enrollment. So if you want to get, a little extra in your, your resume or your college application, it's always great to do that too.
So why community college?
So community college to me has really changed over time, and community college is a great way for students to be able to save some money. I just heard that some colleges are going up to $90,000 a year. And for me as a mom, I'm looking at colleges with my daughter who's 16, and that is a lot of money to spend, and especially in some fields where you're not going to make $1 million coming out of the gate, right? So, seeing students being able to be more fiscally conservative, understanding what it takes to go to college, and why not go for the first 2 years and really spend almost nothing, really, and getting your education and then moving on to a 4-year. Or we have programs that, like our aviation program, that you could actually get out and make $80,000 a year with a 2-year degree. So it's really educating people what you can get through a community college education and that what is necessary for those students to do. And we hold their hand. And that's a really great piece of it.
It is. In the past, there's been a bit of a stigma for community college. Do you think that has changed over time?
I think it really has changed. I think the pandemic helped a little bit because students stayed home. I think that we've ebbed and flowed with times and really have seen that students are being more fiscally conservative. I think parents like myself, like I was saying, I'm in my late 40s, and I had that student loan debt, and it is scary to go out and know that you have $500 to $700 a month in student loan debt. And students are really going, maybe I'm not quite ready to go away. COVID really saw that with students staying home and realizing, yeah, this is great. I am able to save some money and take those general classes that everybody has to take for almost nothing.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, and I kind of always wish that I did a couple of years of community college first, even if just to give myself a good transition, to get myself comfortable. I don't think I was ready for a big school. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat as that, is they're just not quite ready or they want to be close to home. And I love that idea that you guys are very much at home.
And it's very true. We're near their home, but we're also talking to them earlier. Like, I love that we work so closely with our local high schools, with our community. I go to the Plymouth Waterfront Festival every year, just talking to people about what their opportunity is, not just the 18-year-olds, but even the 25-year-olds coming back to school. But I think it's important for people to see that anybody can do it and anybody can go. But yeah, I think it's really important to take that stigma out and know that we can help you. Like whether it's one class or 5 classes, just getting started. That's really important for people.
So Governor Healy actually signed the Mass Reconnect program into legislation. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And I would like to thank Maura Haley. Thank you, Governor Haley. We are so excited about this. So, we have been watching this for a while. And what it is that anybody that is 25 at the time that they start school and is a Massachusetts resident, and they fill out what's called the FAFSA, which is the financial aid form that's free, and they take 2 classes a semester, it's free, which means that they get a stipend for books. They get to have that education for free. The only really caveat is that you can't already have a degree. So you can't have associates or a bachelor's, but you could have a certificate. And we're seeing great things about this, and that students are able to come back to school and get their degree. Maybe they stopped and started, maybe they never started, and they're able to come in and get a degree. And they're going, yeah, why not? It's free. I'm going to build it in my schedule. But she also has an amazing nursing scholarship for anybody that's thinking about being a nurse. We are in desperate need of nurses, and that is also almost like Mass Reconnect, except for there's no age requirement. Get into a nursing program, it's also free.
Wow.
And there's also we call it the high school completer program, which is if a student went to high school in the United States for 3 years and is undocumented and gets their high school diploma or GED or high set, they can actually get in-state tuition or get Mass State grants. So there's many things that she's been working on, and there's talk of free community college for all coming down the pipe too,
Wow.
which is great, and also for the nursing scholarship to not have that requirement of having the degree. Because why not go back to school if you want to be a nurse, and why shouldn't it be for free?
And nurses are so needed, especially now.
Especially now. And that's one of the things that we're really pushing. I'm on the ground. I see it every day. I'm actually in charge of the nursing program at my school to do the admissions. And I think a little bit getting this up was great, but I think talking to us about what we see every day, and we see students coming back to school all the time from having a bachelor's or a master's and saying, I want to be a nurse now. I'm like, great. But then he may not be eligible for financial aid, and that's sad because they want to be a nurse.
Wow. I didn't know that Mass Reconnect covered books. Like that is because textbooks are sometimes even more expensive than tuition.
It is very true. I laugh sometimes what I see because the fees in the books are included. It's not just the tuition. And that to me is different than any other grants that students would
Right.
get, or that you might say, oh, I'll get financial aid, but you have to cover books. They get a great stipend for that. So, and it really is wonderful for students to be able to see that. It's just 6 credits a semester they have to take.
Wow. Have you noticed a rise in enrollment since these programs came into effect?
My office has noticed a very much rise in enrollment. We actually got more staff now, so we're super excited.
Wow.
We saw an 11% increase in the fall and a 30% increase in the spring.
That's
So
huge.
we actually doubled our applications this spring. And, the over 25 population is really coming out. We used to have the average age of 26, 36 was this semester. So we're seeing students coming back at all ages.
What's the best part of your job? What's the thing that makes you get up in the morning and be like, yes, I'm going to work. I'm so excited.
I feel like I got into this, been in many years. I've been doing so many different options. I've worked for private schools, public schools. I've been in this field for 20 years. But I found community college, and I found Cape Cod Community College. And just my number one thing is when I talk to a student who has no idea, they walk in, they're scared, they don't know what to do. They really don't, they have a path. They know they want to go to school. They have the passion, but they're like, I don't know. So I sit down with them, I discuss it with them, become a cheerleader for them. I tell them I get my pom-poms out. I'll be a cheerleader for you, and walk them through and see that there is an option for them. They can get a degree. And, as long as they have the time management skill and they find the time to take the classes, whether it's 1 at a time or 5 at a time, we're there for them. We have tons of services that they can get. We have, our renewal center that does disability services. And, there's so much as an option for them. They just walking in the door, that scariness of walking in and saying, can I do it? And yes, you can. And we hold your hand. And seeing graduation. Number one thing of my life that I love is graduation. Just seeing those families so proud of those students walking across that stage. And I get to be a part of it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I love it. So what advice do you have for someone who's just starting to look at going back to school? How do they get started?
Sure. So, there's so many options for everybody nowadays. What do I do? How do I start? I say to a student, they might have been in a field that they don't love anymore, or that it's not making them any money, or they got into this field because they had to, right? So now they're like, I want to go back to school. And so really you can make a Zoom call with us. You can come in, you can email me. I don't any which way, carrier pigeon, however you get to me. I just think that it's number one is to just come in and don't be scared. Don't be scared of it. Walk into it and say, it's okay. I say to everybody that comes in, everybody's scared. And especially as these over 25 students come in, we work very closely with our high school students, that we do a whole pathway to them, that they'll have their classes before graduation, and we really work with them early on. But anybody that is older, that feels like they've stopped and started or never started, and they want to do better and they want to find a new career, it's really just getting the motivation to say, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then we'll find a way to make you do it.
You have the best energy and so much of it. Is that required with being in admissions? Do you have to have that?
I believe you do. I think anybody that is in this field, if you see anybody that is rude or on their phones or not giving you the attention, and they're telling you their story, you don't want to not be engaged with somebody. This person has come in, scared and wondering what's going to happen. And you want to be engaged with them. You want to talk to them. You want to understand them. And I think if you can't engage with those people and you can't explain that to them and you can't have that energy, I know there's nothing worse than walking into, somewhere and they're not engaged and they're just like, oh, you're here. That's the worst. Some days I say I have to put on the Sheila Shine or I call it the Vaseline smile, but it's well worth it in the end. And I think I have a positive outcome on life anyway. I think that positivity breeds positivity, negativity breeds negativity. But I've done some leadership trainings in my lifetime, but I think it's just really important to show positivity in life, and I think that it breeds other people's positivity.
Oh, that's wonderful. And we love that, Sheila Shine.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure.
It's so great to see you. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see you at the Waterfront Festival.
Hey friend, thanks for stopping by. If you like this video by The Local Scene, share the love and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe.